Good morning. Just finished up today's meditation and something interesting really happens. So I had two times in this meditation where like once about halfway through and then once at the end, where I kind of like jumped out of meditation. It was like I was in this deep state, and the first time it happened I was like, oh, I'm like, did I fall asleep and then just like snap out of it? And I was like, well, I remember like being in meditation. And then again, towards the end, like I have a timer that I let go off for the time that I meditate. And it was the same thing. I was like, oh, did I fall asleep again? Like, what's going on here? So it's funny because also, like, I don't remember. Like, it's one of those things. You ever have a dream and you wake up and you remember the details like really quickly, and then all of a sudden it's gone? Yeah, that's what this was like for me today. And I was like, that's interesting because I know that I was having some really deep thoughts. And it goes back to um, a video I made a couple weeks ago about how like seeing these universal truths and having like these brief moments of enlightenment, and then like you just completely forget what was shown to you or to me. um and it was similar, but this was definitely more drawn out because it's over like an hour and 15 minutes. Oh goodness. Then versus a shorter time frame. But something that I was just reflecting on after is that there's no wrong way to meditate. Like, how often are we like saying, and I hear this quite a bit from people, like, I can't do it, like I can't clear my mind, um like I can't sit still, I can't visualize, I can't do this, I can't do that, blah blah blah. Like, it's all fucking excuses like made up just so you can get away from yourself, like giving yourself the ultimate excuses to not connect with you. It's really genius on the part of the ego, like how the lengths that that part of us will go through to keep us away from our own discomfort. And not that meditation's uncomfortable all the time or forever, but certainly when you're beginning, and I remember this to be true for myself as well. It was difficult to sit still for 5 minutes. I remember that. 10 minutes, God, never mind a half an hour, an hour, like, no way. 5 minutes was a challenge, and I would be checking the time like 3 times, and it's like, whoa, it feels like it's been an hour and it's been 2 minutes. Um, and so it is a skill to be learned, and we get very hard on ourselves that we're not doing it correctly. But I just want to say there's no fucking wrong way to meditate. Like, guys, come on. If you're just being with yourself, no matter what's coming up, like, you're doing it right. If your mind is thinking about things and bouncing all over the place, great. You're doing it right. Be aware, right? Be the space in which all of this is happening. That's what meditation is, okay? Fuck all of that about like clearing the mind and just like being whatever. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Um, but that's not the point either. It's to become the observer and to increase the awareness. So when we stop judging ourselves about what's right and wrong in meditation, we really open ourselves up to like this whole new fucking world of possibilities inside that. So today, I mean, my ego was definitely being a little judgy. She's like, you fucking fell asleep, like what's going on here? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I do feel in reflection now that I was in a theta state, which is kind of like a dreamlike state, but it was lucid because I do recall like having some really deep thought patterns, and I just don't remember them when I wake up. But the beautiful thing is one of my gosh, I think it was one of my shamanic mentors told me once that if you fall asleep in meditation, like, that's great because we do some of our deepest and powerful work in that sleep meditation state. And I think because it's we're in that theta, which is like the brain waves, like that really deep state, and there's a lot going on there. And so whether your mind is all over the fucking place or you don't remember jack shit from your meditation, like, who cares? Like, it's doing what it needs to do, and we're taking away whatever we need to take away from it. So just remove the judgment and let it be whatever it is. Because when we remove judgment, we create space for even more to show up, because that judgment is like taking up a part of our like mental and our heart space, because the ego wants to make expectations for something. Like, who, like, I don't generally go in, oh my goodness, I'm still waking up, you guys. I don't generally go into meditation with like an agenda. I'm not like, this is what I'm meditating on today. No, when I do my morning meditation, that's just like me being open to the universe and like opening the channel for the day, so to speak. And, when I do, sometimes things will come up and I'm like, oh, yeah, I get to be with that now. And I get to feel it and do the things for myself to move, the emotions or the trauma or whatever it might be, like the negative experience, and feel into it and release it, let it go. But that's not always the case in the morning, right? I'm not fucking just waking up. You know, that stuff more so drops in throughout the day where it's like, ooh, I feel this pang of discomfort. Like I've done something or talked to someone or saw this thing and that triggered me in some way. And then I can feel it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get to go into meditation again and sit with that. And, the time varies. It might be like 10 minutes and I'm like, cool, got it, moving on. It might be 30, 40 minutes. It depends how deep it is for me. And everybody's different. Everyone has a different way of moving through their shit. And the thing is like there's no fucking wrong way. There's no wrong way to handle you. There's no wrong way to meditate. There's no wrong way to release your emotions and process them, as long as you're motherfucking doing it, right? As long as you're doing it, like giving yourself a chance to be in your own energy, giving yourself a chance to feel your emotions and understand your inner workings. Mm. And you know what? Like, when I first started meditating, I mostly listened to guided tracks because it was like very anxiety inducing. And so I did that, and that was beautiful and it worked wonderfully. It helped so much. And like a lot of those things, like, helped me form my own meditative practice, because I'm like, okay, I do a little breathing, I can visualize something pleasant if I want, if I want to reduce anxiety, like bring myself into a peaceful state by visualizing something that I like. I can feel my emotions by letting that come through if I want to. Like, we are in the seat of power in our own meditations, and we often just like give this away to the egoic mind, who literally wants nothing to do with meditation because it's scary, because that means that we're shedding the story of who we are. Every time we sit with ourselves and like allow the universe to move and like do its fucking thing with us, it's shedding that story that like I can't do this, or that it doesn't mean anything, or that there's no benefits. Because let me tell you what, there's motherfucking benefits. And I could sit here and tell you to the high heavens all about the benefits, but that shit doesn't matter, because number one, they're going to be slightly different for everybody. Like the ultimate goal, the ultimate benefits are really the same, but our experiences are so individual and it's different. And there's so many benefits, like from the spiritual perspective, but even from a scientific perspective. Like, meditation is literally scientifically proven to reduce anxiety and stress. Why isn't everyone fucking doing it? Like, why do we want to sit in our own pain all day, every day, instead of just being in meditation? Like, being in meditation for even 10 minutes a day will help reduce your anxiety. And yet we tell ourselves the story that like we can't do it. Why wouldn't you just give yourself 10 minutes every day to try? Whoa, like what would happen if you committed to that even for 30 days and see how it goes? Even if you're just listening to a guided track, there's so many tracks out there that are helpful if you're not comfortable just being in your own mind space. I know it can be overwhelming. I know it can be scary and like a little like, oh, I don't know what's in there. Like, I'm not quite ready to delve deep into myself. Like, yeah. And that's okay, because we're all on our own journey. We're all in the place that we need to be. So just remove the fucking judgment and find a way that works for you. because meditation is awesome. Meditation will literally change your life, that in itself, if you let it, if you commit to you and you allow yourself to be with the discomfort of all of those judgments and all of those limiting beliefs about meditation. Like, I can't do it. Like, I love it. It's my favorite one is people saying that they can't turn their mind off. And I'm like, whoever said meditation was about turning off your mind? I know that it's out there. I know that people are like, clear your mind and just like be now. That's the end goal, guys. I'll just like spoiler alert, you will get there if you keep trying and you keep at it, right? It's the point of not giving up and committing to yourself. And don't let your ego run the damn show, because that part doesn't want to do it. Okay. That part wants to just keep feeding all of these like addictive behaviors and keeping us in our comfort zone because that's safe, right? Keeping us in bad habit patterns is safe to the ego, right? Isn't that like the dumbest thing ever? But it's so true. And it's been true for me. Like, so many things that I've done and then have let go. And then after I'm like, I understand now why the ego is holding on to that so much, because releasing all of these things just allows space for something even newer and better and more beautiful to come in. And it's hard to even imagine what that is. It's hard for me to even articulate that to you because it's a different experience for each one of us. So my experience with that is going to be different than yours. So don't try and meditate like me. Don't try and meditate like anyone. Meditate like you. Let it be uncomfortable and messy and mind bouncing all over the place. Let it just be. That is meditation. That's what it's about. And let all of this happen as you become more and more aware of it. Right? There's times now I'll get into a mind loop in a meditation, and then all of a sudden, bam, the awareness kicks in. I'm like, and I'm really seeing what the mind is bringing forward. And it's so beautiful because I get to work with that and be with that. And it gets faster and faster over time. Like, I promise you, it does get faster. Like, you will not be sitting in your mind loop forever. Like, you will, if you sit in meditation every day, even for 5 or 10 minutes, you'll start to see that you get out of it. Like, there is an end of the road, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to stick with it, right? Like, don't give up, don't judge yourself, just let it be whatever it's meant to be, because there's so much beauty in holding space for yourself. And it takes courage and vulnerability to do that, especially when we're not used to. So stick it out, do the thing, and let it be what it is without judgment. All right, you guys, that's it for today. I love you, and I'll catch you on the flip side.